Well, welcome back, everybody, to episode 7 of the BrixCast. I am with my host, Aaron, today, and we do want to thank our sponsor, Aaron.
Yes, our sponsor, as always, and our editor, and my good friend, Oscar, from MrBricktastic.com. Be sure to check out his Brickling store for all of your Star Wars minifigure needs, Lego piece needs, or just general Bricklink at 3 in the morning needs. He has a bunch of great stuff. Just be sure to check him out, MrBricktastic.com. And with that, I just want to also say, I'm the permanent host. I will not, never, that's not, man, I'm really stuck with grammar today. I will always be the permanent host, and that's just something that I think everyone's going to get used to. As much fun as last episode was with Jay, because I think that after the episode, the three of us went on a Discord call for about another hour or something after that. It was, I don't know if it's going to be permanent. We might have him back on as another guest in the future. I think that all of us were pretty excited about that, and the comments in the episode seemed to also really reflect how much you guys liked Jay. So, yeah, we'll see. But
I think doing guest host was a good idea. I'm hoping that we can do something somewhat live. So next month is Brickworld Chicago in mid-June, 2023. It's Father's Day weekend for the U.S., and we're going to be with a lot of different people at Brickworld. It's the first time I'll be going. We'll have another episode, probably the next episode after this. We'll talk about my expectations for Brickworld, because I've never been. I've only been to Brick Fair, Virginia. I've never been to Brickworld Chicago. But when that happens, hopefully while we're there, Aaron and I will be able to do like a live recording podcast and have potentially one or two more guests on. So we'll just see what happens.
yeah, I think it'd be fun. I know that you tossed around the idea of like doing like in a conference room type thing, which not that wouldn't be good, but I don't know if we're at that level yet. Maybe we'll just like hop in our hotel room and record some stuff. But yeah, I know that a lot of mine and David's mutual friends will be there. And I mean, I know I'm looking forward to an absolutely great time. I'm actually driving up to Brickworld with 6 of my closest friends in a van from Houston for, I think it's like 17 hours with no stops. So I'm excited. I'm really excited for all that. I'm doing all these U.S. conventions this summer, and I don't know. It's all coming up so fast. I can't believe it's already May 10th. Jeez, wow.
Yeah, so we'll definitely talk more about this probably next week. So I can't wait to talk more about it. We're gonna try to keep this episode under an hour today, guys. We'll see if we can actually manage that. But Aaron and I both have things. Aaron needs to sleep after this, and I need to go work on Geonosis after this.
Struggle.
We both have things we have to do. So we're on a schedule today. We're on a schedule.
Yes, the struggle of having one person in the U.S., one person in Europe, is that as the day procrastinates and it goes further and further, it just becomes later and later for me. So like when I finished dinner, he was doing lunch or doing other stuff, and it just kind of got to a point now, and it's 1 a.m. and I don't know if I'm going to be as high energy as I usually will be. I think I could tone it up, but I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. So we're going to try keeping this at an hour or under an hour. So with that,
exactly. So we should exactly.
With that, I'm going to get into
our first topic.
Is going to be a rare Aaron is unbelievably and unconditionally excited for something from Lego. And that is that there is a rumor, and this is still just a rumor, that a $200, 2,500 piece Lego Concorde set is coming out. Now, I don't think I've spoken about it too much on this on the podcast, but I love airplanes. I love airplanes. I love flying. I love traveling on them. I love knowing about them. I love learning about them. I love reading about them. I love everything about airplanes. It doesn't matter what type. I mean, okay, I don't like propeller. Like, just large passenger planes, jet planes, or what have you. And for those of you that do not know, Concorde was an amazing 1960s project between a British company and a French company, and I think some other European companies, to produce a supersonic jet, passenger jet. So basically a jet that can fly at the speed of like a fighter plane from the military, but for passengers. And it was created to basically serve Paris and London to New York routes, because it was illegal to fly this jet over populated areas because of how fast it was going. It would like break windows, because it would just continually break the sound barrier, because it's going like Mach 1 or Mach 2 at like its max speed. And so it could basically cross the Atlantic in 3 hours, which is normally like a 6.5 to 7 hour flight. And obviously you could see the appeal of that. It was extremely expensive to get a ticket. I think tickets were like like $6,000, $10,000 and counting for inflation nowadays for I think even one
Wait,
way.
so why did they get rid of this? Why
Right.
did they get
So
rid of this
in
jet? That
2003,
actually sounds very
in
good.
2003, so this jet went from this six. I don't know exactly what year it got developed. I mean, obviously, I need to do some more in-depth research, but broad strokes is that it got introduced in the 70s to British Airways and Air France. So obviously a British airline and a French airline, and they used it basically exclusively for Charles de Gaulle, which is Paris, to JFK, and London Heathrow, which is London, to JFK. They might have run some operations down in Miami. I'm not 100% certain on that. I know that the New York one was the super popular one. And it was a relative success. It was definitely a unique flying experience because if you don't know, the Concorde is an incredibly iconic airplane in the aviation community. If you talk to somebody who knows like the smallest thing about airplanes and you say Concorde, they'll know exactly what you're talking about. It is like the Republic gunship, I guess I'd equate it to. That's a horrible, that's a ridiculous comparison, but
no. But I think I get it.
Yeah,
now. Because I don't I like probably most of the people listening. I had no idea what this plane was, and so you kind of just filled in the blank for me.
It is like iconic, and it's also like the height of flying luxury because of how expensive the tickets were. Basically, everybody was treated as if they were a business class passenger, even though the seating was all economy. It's different because the flight standards of what we know as a consumer today is vastly different from what it was in the 70s, 80s. So the ticket prices were, like I said, were like $10,000. Like this was for rich people and business people. That's it. And so the market was served, and they ran flights for 30-ish, 40 years without with some minor problems. I think once the 1980s economic recession hit, they kind of just the flights were basically empty all the time. They still had plenty of passengers to an extent, but they weren't filling enough to make it worth it because obviously to cross the Atlantic in 3 hours, the amount of gas you're carrying and the cost of that gas as well is just insane. And also the cost per flight hour of like the pilots who are especially trained on this airplane is ridiculous. But anyways, in early 2003, I think, a Concorde was setting down the runway at Charles de Gaulle Airport, and a piece of the United Airlines DC-10 that fell off of the United Airlines airplane when it took off previously was on the runway, got lodged in the tire of the Concorde, and therefore I'm also I'm in way too positive of a tone for what I'm about to say, but this metal shard from the tire, because of how fast the tire was spinning, moved the shard so fast that it flung out of the tire like a bullet and punctured one of the fuel tanks, which were carrying a lot of jet fuel, obviously, and that almost instantaneously ignited and it blew up the airplane. And then in the process of the airplane blowing up, it landed on a hotel, and it killed everyone on board, obviously, and some people in the hotel. Horrible tragedy, but at this point, the Concorde was struggling to fill its seats. Most of the time, it was just, aviation fans and then the occasional business fan or rich person. So this 2003 accident basically killed the Concorde, and British Airways and Air France retired all their airplanes by, I think, 2003, it was when they all were gone. It was a very easy decision to make. They were not generating money, and this giant disaster just happened, which wasn't their fault at all. It was the fault of faulty United Airlines maintenance, but it's just interesting that the airplane got retired.
So I looked, Aaron, just a slight correction. It was actually July 25th, 2000, not 2003. I just looked it up because I've never heard of this crash.
Okay, then I think it's 2003 that it was retired. I know that 2003 is, I could be wrong, but yes, early 2000s, whatever it is. But yeah.
So you're right. It unfortunately killed 109 people.
It was
crazy.
It was a devastating. I mean, obviously, like the luck of it landing on a hotel is also just horrible because there was a hotel at the end of the runway, not like at the end, but like a little bit past the runway, and this jet has to go so fast to take off that it hit a point where no matter what happened, it was already in the air when it started to blow up because the metal hit the fuel tank, and then as the thrusters kept going, the fuel hit the thrusters. I believe is what caused the fireball, which then caused the explosion. And it was already in the air, so it still went a couple, 100 meters until it landed on this hotel. And yeah, it just instantaneously retired.
For those of you listening, it's definitely worth Googling 2000 Concorde crash. You'll see the images to kind of give you a picture of what Aaron is describing. It's, again, I've never heard of this crash.
It's extremely interesting. I mean, the whole investigation too, because they to keep it brief, they didn't understand what happened, and to find a piece of a different airplane was just wild. But yeah, I won't get too much into that because that's just a brief history of the Concorde. But this rumor is that Lego is making a 2,500 piece Concorde model, and this
anyhow to go from Fatal Crash to Lego set.
Yes,
oh my
I know
gosh.
that's unfortunately, but this Lego set, and I'm not being hyperbolic or exaggerating. I have not been more excited for a Lego set since probably the Osprey, and we know how that one went. But before that, I'd probably say like, I don't know, the Episode 8 wave, for Force Friday. I have not been this excited since then. I am if this is real, and I'm pretty confident that it is, I cannot express my excitement. This is a day one buy for me. I'm going to get probably 2 or 3 of these, keep some sealed as well. I'm so excited for this airplane. The return of like brick-built Lego airplanes after so long. Because the last one we got was 2004, I think, that's off the top of my head, with the Boeing 787, which is also one of my favorite airplanes. And it was a rough model. I mean, it was a lot of 2x4s and definitely could use some slopes. But the fact that this could mark the potential return for this subline, and even if it doesn't mark the potential return, just this set alone is enough to satiate me. I am so excited for this set. I love airplanes. I'm going to love building this set. I'm going to love having this set. I cannot express how happy and excited I am for this. And I just wanted to start this podcast off with a really rare air and extremely happy moment. But yeah, if you have any thoughts about that, David?
You've gotten me going down the rabbit hole on Wikipedia right now about this crash.
Oh, it's wild.
It is blowing my mind. It is. There's like so many like what do you call them? Conspiracy videos I'm seeing on YouTube about this. This is a real big thing. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Well, that was I might go down the rabbit hole and after this episode and learn more after I'm done with Geonosis tonight and learn more about this because this is fascinating.
I really recommend it. It is, even like airplanes.
I think it's very weird. I think it's one thing for, I guess, I'm thinking about this in terms of like, well, if there's this horrible fatal crash associated with this plane, why would Lego make it? But you could make the same argument as to why Legos made the space shuttle before, and that had a horrible accident
I think that
as well.
The accident to the Concorde is entirely unrelated. So the accident of that flight in 2000 is pivotal to the Concorde's history because it obviously is what made the Concorde leave service. However, the crash was nowhere near a result of any error made by the Concorde. The crash was squarely the result of United Airlines maintenance and Charles de Gaulle Airport, the people who checked the runway. That is the entire fault. There is no fault to the Concorde. The Concorde, I'm pretty sure, had a almost impeccable safety record in the 40 years of service, which is basically unheard of for almost any airplane out there, except for really modern ones. Even so.
Also, Aaron, also to correct you, just because I'm on Wikipedia, it says it was in operation for 27 years.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. I'm ballparking these. I don't have Wikipedia in front of me, so I can't really. I'm close enough with these ballparks that I'll give myself credit for that. But the legacy of the Concorde has carried on. It's still a beloved airplane. There is a bunch of them on display in random museums. I know that outside of London Heathrow Airport, there's one on display. I don't know if it's specifically on display. I know that there's one in New York City, actually, at the USS Intrepid. You can visit a Concorde there. In Germany, there's one at the Sinsheim Technik Museum, and I've actually gone to that one and the Intrepid one. It's such a...
Is there one at the Air and Space Museum near DC?
I don't think so. I really am struggling. I do not think there is, but I've been on the one at the Intrepid and the one at the German Sinsheim Museum, and it is a surreal experience. It is, as somebody who loves aviation as much as I do, it's absolutely something I'm so happy I could do, because I could never afford a ticket on that flight. Also, I was not born when it crashed, so obviously it wasn't really a reality. But
wait, you weren't even born then?
I was born in 2001.
When were you born, Aaron? 2001. Oh my god.
Oh my.
That's right. I'm 4 years older than you.
That's not that much, man.
Huh.
I thought you were way older than me. But yeah. It's an insane experience. And also, just one last final fun fact about the Concorde. The Soviet Union actually copied the Concorde. And the German museum that I'm talking about also has a Soviet version of the Concorde on display. And it's so funny because you can tell that without a shadow of a doubt, the Soviets just straight copied the Concorde. But they couldn't figure everything out because they had to add winglets to the front of it, which are small, tiny wings underneath the cockpit. And it's just very funny because it's like the Soviets consistently copied stuff from the West, and it always was like inferior. But also, one more. Sorry, I know I said one more thing, but this is important to the Lego set in a way. But a very iconic part of the Concorde, if you've ever seen a picture of it, you've either seen it completely flat, like a completely streamlined pencil, or you've seen it with like the cockpit angled down. And that's actually a like what allowed it to be the way it is. Because obviously, if you're traveling at Mach 1, you need to be streamlined and aerodynamic, and a tilted cockpit, you're not going to do that. So the tilted cockpit was actually for takeoffs, landings, and taxiing, which is driving around on like the taxiways and the ramps. So the cockpit actually would bend down mechanically so the pilots could actually see out of the windows, because if the nose was all the way up, you could not see the ground in front of you. And so they needed to have this to be able to have the nose tilt down in order for the pilots to drive it around and take off. So it's a super iconic shaped airplane when it's taking off, and it's obviously when a lot of pictures taken of it too. So I'm really excited to see if the Lego designers, not if, I'm almost certain the Lego designers have incorporated that feature of the droop nose, what it's called, droop nose, into the set. Because if they, I mean, that's just going to be insane. It's going to be like the landing gear on the space shuttle. I know that's like a menial thing, but I just love that feature so much. And if they can incorporate it somehow like that with the Concorde, I'm already so excited. But if they incorporate like a functioning droop nose, which I'm pretty certain they will, it's just going to take it to the next level of excitement. I'm just so excited because this also opens the possibility of maybe even more airplanes, which I know is like really firing in the dark. But yeah, I'm just so excited.
So Aaron, if I get this as a review copy from Lego this year, are you gonna be upset?
I mean, I might have to book a quick little flight to Richmond, but I don't know.
Assuming that this is real, of course, because I don't know. I just know it's a rumor. I don't know if it's real. Assuming this is real,
can't you have other
you're
people?
You're gonna book a flight and you're gonna be a part of this review.
Can't you have other people in your network do reviews for you?
Yeah, I could actually have it sent to you. So that is an option.
I could do the review
the question
for
is,
you.
Can you meet my quality standards for solid
I
brick
could
studios?
get a nice camera and like a backdrop of expensive Lego sets.
I mean, because I would hate to get that set and then like, I mean, you did just for this last 12 minutes inform me about this plane, what it does, and I honestly do feel like I know a lot more now. Hopefully everybody listening isn't bored to all.
I think the Concorde is a rare example in aviation. Not a rare example to me, but a rare example to the general people of like an interesting aviation story, because it's like this revolutionary airplane, and we actually downgraded since then. Because the fastest you can get across the Atlantic from London or Paris to New York right now is like 6 hours if the wind streams are in your favor. And like we went from 3 hours to 6 hours because of this disaster. And obviously the cost, whatever. The point is that we downgraded our technology, which is almost always the inverse of how it goes throughout history. Because obviously, you know, innovation and, you know, then something gets innovated and then becomes cheaper and then available to the general public, which is how aviation started as a concept. Because obviously aviation used to be, you know, for rich people only. So, I don't know, the Concorde is super interesting. If you have any interest at all, DM me on Instagram. I'll talk your ear off, or look up a documentary. There's about 100,000 of them out there about the Concorde. It really is interesting. And if you are at all excited for this Lego set, it'll make you even more excited for this Lego set. And I'm so excited for this set. September, whatever that rumor day was, cannot come fast enough.
Well, assuming it comes out September 1st, which would be the also rumored date for some other big Lego Star Wars sets that are rumored.
I think it was September 4th, actually, was the rumor.
The gunship. Oh, was it September 4th?
Yeah.
It would be around the same time as the gunship and the Ghost is the two big rumors for September 1st. So that'll be interesting. But we should move on to our next topic, which is just kind of recapping May the 4th, Star Wars Day / really a week of Star Wars, it seemed like this year. Lego, of course, had their big promotional period from May 1st to May 7th. It was very hectic. If you were there at midnight on April 30th going into May 1st, the Lego shop at home was completely down for about 2 hours, and I took to social media to see what people were saying. It was just a complete disaster. People were saying they were just refreshing, and by the time they finally got in, the set they wanted was gone. I put out a survey on my YouTube community tab asking people what was May the 4th like Lego. What was May the 4th Lego like for you? You know, did you get all your sets? All of that. and the results were pretty interesting. I'll go ahead and pull it up, but what's also very interesting is that the Executor Super Star Destroyer was the very first Lego Star Wars set to sell out. I think people were telling me within the first 2 hours on May 1st. But you know what a lot of people forgot is that the Executor was available for pre-order for 2 months. I think they put it up for pre-order back March 1st, and it became available on May 1st. So it was available for 2 months for pre-order. And what that says to me is that it didn't, that wasn't the case that there was that much demand for like 2 hours for it to sell it. It was the fact that people were pre-ordering it so much over the last like month or two for the anticipation. And then obviously people were also buying it that night as well. And so the combination of the pre-orders being so high and the physical stock left was, I guess, not as much as why you saw it sell out so quickly. But in terms of the statistics, my little survey here of what people said. So 42% of people said perfect, got everything I wanted. 12% of people said good, got most things. 20% said meh, missed out on a set. And 26% said bad, the only set I wanted was gone. So almost 50-50 between like good and bad, I would say, from this survey. So it's pretty hit or miss for you for May 1st with all this May the 4th Lego stuff happening during the week. So that was all very interesting. What do you think, Aaron?
So we're just going to take a quick little 180. Positive Aaron is gone. We're back to your regularly scheduled program of pessimistic Aaron, who doesn't like Lego Star Wars right now.
Oh no! Come on! Yeah. We gotta be somewhat positive.
If this was an hour talking about airplanes, you'd have all smiles for me. But unfortunately, it's not. I think that it's absolutely absurd and ridiculous that a multi-billion-dollar company as Lego has such horrific IT infrastructure that a highly anticipated and promoted event by them is incapable of supporting web traffic. I know this isn't controversial because why is this is basic online e-commerce of how you should have a website that can handle the capacity that you will be getting. Also, who in their right mind would pre-order a set coming out on May 4th when they know there's going to be promos on May 4th that you won't get if you pre-order it? That's just something that I don't quite understand why anyone would pre-order that, because you could have at least gotten the coin promo if you just bought that set. Also, I don't understand how anybody bought that Fang Fighter set. That thing is atrocious. The TIE Interceptor's cool, but that Fang Fighter is disgusting. In addition to the Spider Tank and the Fang and the Snub Fighter. All three of those sets garbage. Garbage. Overpriced hot garbage. In addition to that Endor diorama. Who bought this stuff? Really? Why are you wasting your money? It'll be on sale on Amazon in a couple weeks. Just wait. The promo, sure, I can understand that. But I just
wait. All right, Aaron. Let me stop you for a second. Let me tell you what actually sold out. Okay, it's not all the sets that you're talking about. So here's what sold out during the week of May the 1st, May the 4th, May 1st, May 7th. So Captain Rex helmet is out of stock. The Inquisitor scythe is out of stock. The BD-1 is out of stock. That makes sense.
I'm sorry.
Video game
People
just launched.
Purchased the Inquisitor scythe at $100 retail. That is one of the most heavily discounted Lego sets available. Even with the bonus of the promos, that's not worth it.
All right. And then we got the Dagobah Jedi's training diorama, which I'm surprised to see is also out of stock. Maybe that's just getting retired soon.
I think why it's getting retired.
Out of stock. The Razor Crest is also out of stock. The
big one?
Playset, but I also imagine that. Yeah. No, the $140 one. Which doesn't surprise me.
Well, here in Europe,
Cantina is on.
Yeah, here in Europe, we got that nice discount on the Razor Crest, unlike y'all. So I know some people who bought the Razor Crest for a very good price.
Well, the UCS Razor Crest. I'm talking about the playset. Yeah. The Mos Eisley Cantina is not out of stock, but it did go on back order. Same case with the Death Star trash compactor. Let's see, what else do we have here? Luke's X-Wing fighter, the playset X-Wing is also on back order. Very interesting. Republic gunship, the UCS Republic gunship is also on back order. Okay, here's what really shocked me. The Bouche Princess Leia helmet is completely out of stock. Can you believe that?
I can't believe people are buying the helmet sets for full retail. I'm going to be honest.
Commander Cody's on back order. Captain Rex and Bouche are completely sold out currently, which Rex makes sense. Cody makes sense, but I am really surprised that Leia is out of stock. So I guess that was I guess because right around now, Return of the Jedi is very popular, given that it's like the 40th anniversary and everything. Because I don't know what day in May it came out 40 years ago, but it's coming up. It might even have came up past when this podcast has been released. Anyhow, so there's a lot of hype around that. So that maybe that's part of the reason. And of course, the biggest out of stocks were the Executor, the Mandalorian Tank Fighter versus TIE Interceptor, and the UCS X-Wing that just came out as well. The indoor speeder chase, Aaron, is still currently fully available.
I wonder
it didn't go on back order.
No one's paying $80 when you could just buy the far superior Super Star Destroyer for, is it also the $80? I don't know. I don't understand anybody who would buy that set for full retail or 20% off even. That set is so worth. The figures are just trash. I was like, for what the set costs, they should have ponchos, which we'll get to later. But I think that it's just atrocious that though they didn't come with ponchos, and the set is as small as it is and expensive as it is.
I am also surprised to see Emperor's Throne Room still fully available.
It's also expensive.
I put out a YouTube Shorts review. That was me experimenting with shorts on YouTube, and it actually went viral. It almost has 1 million views now, which is crazy. And it's actually technically my most popular review that I've made in the last couple of years by view count. So that really shows that the Throne Room is a very interesting and popular set. So I'm surprised to see that not even on back order. Maybe Lego just made more of that set because they knew it was going to be popular, or maybe it's just not a lot of people are interested in it. Who knows? It is surprising to see the UCS X-Wing fully out of stock. You can't even back order it. So yeah, I mean, Lego Star Wars Lego had a probably very profitable week last week.
And they can't invest a single dime of those profits into a better website, can they? They're just gonna.
Yeah, I personally, I think I didn't go on Lego.com until 2:20 in the morning because I also put an order in. I wanted another Death Star than the one I received for review, one of my own sealed one. So I went ahead and ordered 2 Fang Fighters to get my promos because I also didn't get the Death Star coin.
Why would you order 2? Never mind. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Anyhow.
No, David, I think lesser of you now. I just want you to know that.
Oh my God!
I'm sorry.
It's a good set.
It's
Aaron.
not. It's not a good set. It is not a good set.
It's
part of the set is a good set. Half of the set is a good set. The other half is trash.
All right, moving on to our next topic.
Probably a smart idea, honestly.
We're going to talk about the BrixLink Designer Program.
Oh, Positive Aaron's back. Okay, well, it's nice to see him back in the building.
Apparently we record late in the night for Aaron. He gets a little on the grumpier side.
I don't think this is any different than my normal opinions on Lego Star Wars, David. Honest.
We'll see what people have to say down in the comments below. What do you guys think?
I'm sure that there will be I'm sure there will be a nice select few that continually voice their opinions. So,
all right. So BrixLink Designer Program. If you guys haven't heard of this, they had a quote on test program over the last year or two. They had 3 waves, I believe. I got a couple sets. I got the Lego modular building. I think I also got one other, but I can't remember what I bought.
The Lego store?
Yeah. No, I bought the Lego modular store, but I think I'm pretty sure I bought another BrixLink Designer Program set. Anyhow, so those were just test sets. It was BrixLink testing out whether this would be a success. Lego saw it was so successful because they sold tens of thousands actually of these. Basically, for those of you who don't know a BrixLink Designer Program, they take Lego ideas submission projects that failed, that didn't go to production, and they gave those sets that weren't intellectual property related, aka Star Wars, Marvel, Disney, blah 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 blah, weren't related with an IP. They give them a second chance on the BrixLink Designer Program to be made into a set, and it was extremely successful. They sold lots of sets, lots of different people were very happy. The sets are almost like getting a real Lego set. The only difference is that when you open the set, you have numbered bags and everything, but you don't have instructions. You have to use digital instructions. That was the one big gripe, honestly, in my opinion, about the BrixLink Designer Program sets. But Lego's announced that they are going to make the program a full thing now. It's going to just permanently stay a thing. They're going to fully invest into it. And so it's not actually going to return until next year, 2024. So about 8 months from now, we'll have the first series,
February.
is what they're calling it. Yeah, February 2024. So they'll have the series 1, is what they're calling it, of the final new program. I know I honestly, I think the naming is very confusing, but whatever. Anyhow, so
I think
it's
that,
returning, and so
yeah,
go ahead, Aaron.
yeah. I just wanted to. I mean, I think that it's overall this is a good thing, a force for good. I think that as somebody who has purchased a lot, I think I've, with the exception of like 3 or 4 of the sets, I own all of them. I haven't had a chance to build any because I just honestly I don't have the space because of how big some of these are. But I know I want them in the future, and they are ridiculous on the aftermarket. But I think that this is just going to be good, and I hope that if they narrow the pricing down, or that they get the pricing to a more comfortable level, because they went too cheap and then they went too expensive, and they haven't hit that like perfect sweet spot yet. I don't think. Obviously, I know that the market is like adults on this, so there's a good chance they're going to just stay at the too expensive mark, which I guess it's fair. It's a specialty Lego set in quotes, but I think regardless, these sets are going to sell really well. And I just wanted to quickly give the name of the finalists, and I have some quick opinion on them. So they have the General Store, which is a Western themed building. I mean, imagine like a Red Dead Redemption 2 type of building, I guess. Very cool looking, has horses, a horse-drawn carriage, sand blue building. The next is the Mountain Fortress, which really reminds me of the precursor to the precursor. So for those of you who don't know, before the AFOL Designer Program test phase, which was the last 3 years, they had the 2019 AFOL Designer Program, which was a right before Lego purchased Bricklink Designer Program. So it was all a little bit more different, where they came out with the Löwenstein Castle, which looks very similar to this one. So that's also very exciting. It's like a winter-themed castle. There's an old train engine shed. You can really see what audience they're targeting with these sets, because we got a castle, a train, and a western. So already we can see the market, right? Old train shed looks
Oh
like
my
it'll go
God.
great with the old train station from the last wave, which I'm glad I picked up. There's the Parisian Street, which I would just count as like a double long modular, but like half as thick. So like they cut a modular in half, like the pet shop, I'd say, kind of about. Very cool looking, dark blue roof, tan build, tan like buildings, looks absolutely amazing too. And then the Snack Shack, which, I mean, it's not bad. It looks great for what it is, but it's underwhelming comparatively to the best. I mean, it's like a $20 set compared to like $300 sets. So obviously it's different, but these sets all look great in my opinion. I think there's really no flaws with them. Most of the time with fan design sets that are strictly fan design sets, because I think unlike Lego Ideas, these don't go through as vigorous of an editing phase. You're basically guaranteed to get like a really good set that is just something an AFOL for sure would like. And even kids would like these too, but I think this is just going to be great to see what comes out of this program in the future, because it looks exciting.
Yeah, I agree. For me, the Parisian Street looks really good. I think that's going to be the first one to sell out. So of the 5 sets that Aaron just named off that are officially finalists, they'll be available for pre-order again 8 months from now in February of 2024. The way this will work is they have to be crowdfunded like Kickstarter or Indiegogo, where they have to meet a threshold in order to be produced. Honestly, all of these sets are going to meet the threshold. They're all good picks, so they're all going to meet the threshold of I think Lego says 3,000 pre-orders, and then they're all limited to 20,000. So once it hits 20,000 pre-orders, you will not be able to get it after that.
Did Lego say if there's going to be only like 4 of them go through, or all 5 can go through? Because I know that they've historically only had 5 sets go through.
All 5. So if all 5 meet the 3,000 plus pre-orders, they'll be made. It's not like previously where only certain. It was like a first come.
So
like,
just
I know what you're talking about in the previous. You go ahead and explain it. Sorry.
Yeah. So I mean, the first wave, I still remember that. I was on a Discord call with a bunch of my friends, some other Bricklink sellers when I still sold on Bricklink, and we were all waiting in anticipation for this release, because this was the first wave that had like the castle in the forest and the fishing boat, which were 2 very highly anticipated ones. And also, I just want to say, quick side tangent, I think you're wrong about the Parisian restaurant. I'm pretty sure that the first to sell out will be the castle, and then the train set, because I mean, castle and train, those are the 2 AFOL, Achilles heels. Those are gone. Those will be sold out very quickly, because the castle ones always go, no questions asked. But I remember sitting there with my friends watching the pre-order go live, and the second time, I'm sorry, not the 2019 but the first 2021 one, I think it was 2021, it was such an odd system, because they had 8 sets in total, I want to say, but only 5 were allowed to go through, which is really odd. But in any case, it had to reach 5,000 pre-orders in order to get crowdfunding to succeed. The Castle in the Forest reached 5,000 pre-orders in less than an hour, I think. And and then it sold out entirely like less than 2 hours later, I believe. And that's like people paying the $250 price tag then and there to receive a set like 8 months later. So that should tell you already.
Well, fun fact.
Yeah, go ahead.
Fun fact, Aaron, is there was a glitch going on that day when they were doing the initial pre-orders for that for the Castle in the Forest, and the glitch was that people could order twice or something like that, and so they ended up actually selling 10,000 pre-orders.
That's why they changed
5,000.
the quantity. Actually, you were originally allowed to buy 5 of each set. That was like a allowed quantity. It was 5 of each set, which now that you think back to it is kind of insane because of how expensive these sets are becoming on the aftermarket instantaneously. But yeah, I remember sitting there with my friends and frantically trying to order them because they also allocated a certain number of pre-order sets to regions, which to me is just super odd considering they're all going to come from the same warehouse. So, for example, Europe was its contained region, North America and South America, I think, were their own region, and then Oceania and Asia were their own regions, or Oceania with Asia. And so, like, for example, the Castle in the Forest sold out right away in Europe, but it was available in Oceania and Asia for, like, in the next 6-7 hours. Because there was way more than the demand required there. Because, I mean, just a factual statement is that there's less LEGO fans in Asia than there is in Europe. Purely, like, that's just true. And so I think they stopped doing the regional divide because they also only shipped to certain countries.
They did stop that.
Yeah, because they also didn't ship.
They stopped doing that.
They didn't ship to a bunch of countries, which was just also baffling. But yeah, they've definitely, I think they've gotten the training wheels off and are ready to go full swing into this. And I'm very excited for that. I really am.
Yeah. So, I actually I attended a call with the BrixLink fan engagement person who worked for Lego. She had a lot of stats to kind of give me along with other ambassadors as well, and so I have some interesting information about this newest BrixLink designer program, this first series that'll be coming out next year. So the way this worked is they were not Lego idea submissions. It was anybody could submit a Lego set this time. Lego ideas are not. And so in total, there's 375 submissions out of 307 designers. And then fun fact, there was 57 designers. Of the 307 designers who submitted, 57 of them were BrixLink sellers. I don't know if that's an interesting fact. But in terms of voting, so you had to, the way this worked is there was 375 sets that you could vote on the BrixLink site for what got to where the finalists are today. And there was 2.1 million votes. That's crazy.
That should show the reach of this project, and also why Lego is definitely investing more into selling to adults, because that is just, I mean, all of those people that voted technically had to be adults because you can't be under 18 on BrixLink. So that's just insane. I mean, obviously, I don't think it was 2.1 million people, but still, at least a couple 100,000.
Yeah, I'm also okay. So just a little add some facts is the Snack Shack will have 548 parts. We don't have pricing right now for these sets. That'll come when the sets go on pre-order in February next year.
I'm guessing that one will be like $60.
Yeah, Snack Shack is 548 parts, 3 stickers. General Store is 1,848 parts, 3 stickers.
Probably like 150.
Old Train Engine Shed is 2,298 parts and 10 stickers. Parisian Street is 3,465 parts.
That'll probably be like
stickers.
450, which is painful.
And then lastly, we have, of course, Aaron's. He thinks this is what's going to sell out first. The Mountain Fortress at a whopping 3,986 pieces.
That'll
almost
be
4,000 pieces.
That'll probably be like, 400 or 500.
There is no stickers in that set.
I think up to this point, the most expensive designer program set we've had is the Old Stud Trading Station, which was, that
thing was massive. I was so close to buying that. I had it in the cart.
I'm so happy I did.
I think it was in the same lot as the modular building. I was like, and at the time I didn't think that these BrixLink sets would be really worth too much after, but obviously they've skyrocketed, tripled their price after sealed in box, which is just crazy. Anyhow, I had that, and I think it was like the modular building being built by a crane. I don't remember what the name was. I also was considering that one. And I was just like, I don't need to spend like, I think in my cart with the 3 of them, it was going to be like $900. And I was like, I don't need to spend this on these. Like, these aren't necessary for me to have. And I should have just bought them just for purely having them, because, now it would cost $2,000 to get those sets, which is just insane.
Yeah, the resale value in these is insane. I'm interested to see if that's going to stay true with the upcoming ones. I'm guessing it will.
Well, they're still limited. So previously, BrixLink designer program sets were made in units. They'd only make 10,000 of each. Now they're bumping the 5 sets that I just named off. They're bumping up that to 20,000. So it's double than the previous. They also limited quantity to 2 per person, which honestly I'm going to buy 2. I don't know which 5 I'm going to buy of the 5 that have been. I'm probably only going to buy maybe the Parisian Street and the castle.
I think that it is safe to say that every one of these sets will be worth more than what they're worth now, just because
they're limited.
Exactly,
it will automatically make them valuable,
and also because of the location of the purchase is also like obscure. So it's definitely. I think that if you have the financial ability and you're interested in like possibly selling one down the road, I would just get 2 of them right away, because there is. Yeah, I'm not going to guarantee it, but like 99% chances will go up in value almost right away.
Yeah, and if you're not paying attention in February next year, it's so easy to miss the pre-order date. And then like if you're just not paying attention, you're not on the website, maybe you're traveling, maybe you're in Iceland, which is what I want to do next year. You're traveling and you miss the date, then you're out of luck, because even though they're making 20,000 of each of these sets, I guarantee you they're going to sell it the first day. They're going to get the 20,000 pre-orders immediately. I don't know how many hours it'll take, but it'll certainly probably sell out within the first day. All 5 of them, guaranteed. And so, and that's kind of what drives up the crazy aftermarket prices, because if you aren't paying attention and you miss the date, then your only choice is to buy it through aftermarket, whether that's through BrixLink itself, which is really funny, and then or like eBay or
it is actually hilarious when you think about the way it goes.
It's funny that you can sell them again on a BrixLink after you buy it.
It's funny because obviously, if you don't know, BrixLink, to be a seller in BrixLink, you have to pay BrixLink a 3% of every sale minus shipping costs and tax, like whatever tax.
Which is very low, by the way.
Incredibly low. I mean, eBay is like 12% and whatnot. It's 10%. So it is, and what Mercari is like 10% as well. So it's definitely like beyond competitive. It's like competition squashing. But it's funny because Lego's going to make pure profit on these instantaneously. They're going to make their, $200, $300, $400. Then I'm going to take a stab in the dark here and say about half of them are going to be put onto BrixLink and most presumably sold onto BrixLink. I'd say probably not a half, but I'd say probably a quarter of them will sell on BrixLink, because there's plenty that'll be listed but not sell, because obviously if you're asking like $1,000, no one's going to pay that stupid price. But a quarter of them will sell, and then Lego will then again receive 3% on the same exact set again. Which is also funny because I don't know if a lot of people, it's a quick little tangent here, a lot of sellers on BrixLink buy from other BrixLink sellers that are cheaper than them and then relist the item into their store to then sell it additionally. And I've seen it actually where one seller bought from one seller, listed it, another seller bought from that seller, listed it, and then another seller bought from that seller and listed it. So Lego has now made money on this single piece 5 times. The initial set, the first sale, second sale, third sale, fourth sale. And that's just like,
that's crazy.
It's absolutely insane that Lego. Wow. I mean, obviously it's only 3%, but 3% adds up obviously when you're making millions in sales a day, which I'm pretty sure BrixLink is. And it's like outstanding move from Lego, just buy up the secondhand market, and also the data analytics they get, I'm sure, is outstanding as well. But because that's an example that I've seen personally. I'm sure it's happened way more than what I've just said, because there's so much buying on BrixLink that's done by other sellers who are going to then sell in their store. And it's wild to think about, because every time a piece sells, Lego makes another 3%, because every piece has come from Lego at some point.
I think in the future we could probably have like a good discussion about BrixLink. BrixLink in itself could be an entire podcast episode talking about its history, where it's at today, and all that. But
I think that actually
we do need to move on to our next topic, Aaron.
Okay.
We do need to move on to our next topic, sir. So our next topic is Lego today, as at least for recording. It's been a few days when you're listening to this. But Lego announced the Ninjago City Market set, which is its follow-up to its large Ninjago modular sets. They've made 3 in the past, and this will be the 4th one.
Yes.
This will be the 4th one.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, I thought you were saying they've made 4 now, but yes.
I have the original one, the original Ninjago City. I don't remember what it was called.
Ninjago
I didn't
City.
get the one. Yeah, I didn't get the one after that, the Docks one, and then I got the one that's still on shelves today. I don't know what that's called.
Ninjago
I think it's
City
like City
Gardens.
Garden or something. Yeah. So this is called City Markets, and it reminds me of the Dock set because it's wider.
It really does look like it. The Dock set. It does. It's insane.
Yeah. It's kind of funny how Lego's doing this, but so a lot of people are saying there's a lot of blank space, but when you really start to look at it, it's pretty awesome. There's a lot happening in this set. I love it, and it's a whopping 6,163 pieces. 6,000 pieces. That is very big. That is bigger than the Hogwarts Castle. That's bigger than most Lego sets. So this is the biggest Ninjago set ever made, which is why I'm bringing it up. On top of that, it has a very competitive price at $370. 6,000 pieces, less than $400.
I think this is the best price per piece set we've received in a very long time. I can't think of a better one.
And then on cherry on top, 21 minifigures, one of which is completely exclusive to the set.
Yeah, this set is exciting. I'm not a huge Ninjago fan. When I was a kid, and what I mean by kid is like when Ninjago first started, which is really painful to say, I'm going to be honest, but when Ninjago first started, I liked it. I got some of the first wave sets and all that, but then after that, I just kind of went full in on Star Wars, which I don't regret at all. But these sets really are like the cream of the crop of what Ninjago has to offer. I was fortunate enough to find the Docks actually in 2022 at a store for retail, and that was actually less than retail, and that was an easy decision to make, and that's what got me into these sets now. So luckily, I already have the city as well. So I have the city and the Docks waiting. I'm going to get this one, and I'm also going to pick up Gardens before it retires. And I'm just so excited to see people have these on their layouts of, all 4 sets together. It's going to look as good as like a modular layout.
Oh, yeah. There's a picture on Lego.com that you can look up. Lego shows, it's a lifestyle image of the set, like in person, like an actual room. And it shows the city gardens connected to the new city market. The combination, if you have city gardens, you have to get this, in my opinion, to get the city market, because the combination is incredible looking. And then it's actually perfect that if you have the original Ninjago City, you can put it on the other side. And I think that'll be like one of the best layouts. I think if you have the City Dock set, the one I don't have, that came out a few years ago, I don't think that one's honestly would look as good with this setup. But if you happen to have the first and third Ninjago City, then getting the market will be like that perfect piece to kind of connect the 2 sections, because it looks so cool. The highlight for me is absolutely the cable car in the middle. It's a functioning cable car.
It's so cool looking.
If you've ever been to like Asian,
I thought the highlight for you was the toilet.
No, I haven't gotten to it. But the cable car is the main attraction in this set.
Okay, for normal people.
Fun fact is, like, growing up, I loved watching engineering shows on like Discover and Science Channel and stuff like that. And I'd always watch engineering shows, and they'd always show like Hong Kong and all these Asian countries building these cable cars as transportation for people. And I always wish we had more of that in the U.S. And that's just the only time you see cable cars, really, if you're in
would love
the mountainous
the Alps.
areas. Oh, yeah, I'm sure I would. But anyhow, so I always find cable cars to be very fascinating, and I think that's a great idea to make that the kind of the central focal point, especially for an Asian-inspired set like this. This is just perfect. And then the colors, just Lego knocks these sets out. It just looks great. Piece count's great. Minifigures are great. Just all around great. People complaining that there's empty space in the middle. Obviously, everybody has their own opinion, but personally, I think this is going to look good. I think on its own, it does look a little strange. I'll give you that. But when you connect it into the city gardens, which I assume most people who are going to buy this set has the city gardens, or at least plan on getting that with this, I think that combination is going to just be perfect. However, today is a special day, Aaron. Today is a very special day. You want to know why?
You get to show your age?
What?
Nothing. No. I continue. Nothing. Why? Why is it a special day, David?
There is a very unique feature in this new city market, and that is, this is the first ever made from the Lego group, everybody, a working toilet. That's right. The City Market has a working toilet where I am not joking that it has a handle. It's on the back of the box. You can look at it on lego.com. There is a handle and a toilet where you can put, and it even shows, put a brown Lego stud into said toilet, flush the handle like a real toilet, and that brown Lego piece will go out into the water, into the sewage area. And I think that is one of the greatest features we've ever seen in a Lego set.
Those hygiene practices don't seem too good, and I really feel like if that's going to be a constant, they should really recolor the water. That the Translite Blue probably doesn't seem too accurate in that sense. I think that you are, and David, I say this with all the love in my heart, you are way too excited for that toilet, man. Way too excited. You've talked about this a lot today. You are way too excited for that toilet. I'm glad you're excited, and you know what? It's cool.
I'm very excited.
But you're a little too excited, man. It's a little bit too excited. Just a tad.
I think it's the right amount of excitement because as a kid, I remember the Lego City sets. You'd get a toilet every now and again, especially in the porta potty. And I was just like, dang, this thing doesn't work. All right. It finally works, man. Childhood David finally gets his Lego working toilet. Like,
so maybe
this
if
is a
YouTube doesn't work
true.
out, just become a plumber.
Yeah, a Lego plumber, exactly.
You seem to have an interest in these things, but I think that...
Oh my gosh.
My opinions on the set are, like I said earlier, great set all around, fantastic. It's going to look great with the other ones. I think that if Lego were to retire an Ninjago and just keep making these every few years, that'd be perfectly fine. But
yeah,
I doubt that's going to be the case. I think Ninjago is a dead horse they keep beating. But yeah.
Well, today is also the announcement of City Market's also announcement that they're revitalizing Ninjago with a whole new story and a whole new wave of sets called what is it? Dragons Rising is what it's called. Not gonna lie, the dragon sets, the standalone sets are actually pretty good looking. So if you're into Ninjago, it's a great time. Lego seems to be, again, putting their best efforts. The same designers that I'm sure work on Monkey Kid are also working on this new wave of Ninjago sets because they look just as well designed as the Monkey Kid sets do. So great stuff. We should move on to our next topic, which is so there's obviously speculation that we're going to get a UCS Venator later this year, which is extremely exciting if it's true. And then it's also become another discussion, and this has already been an ongoing discussion since the 501st Battle Pack came out this year, and actually it goes all the way back to last year with the Republic Fighter Tank, which is clone troopers no longer have physical wastegapes with a cloth piece, or just really any cape to be said on a clone trooper. No pauldron, and no wastecape, which is what we used to get with clone troopers most throughout the 2010 era, prior to the molded pauldron and wastecape with the 2008 to 2010 Clone Wars sets. So Lego went ahead and has decided to print the wastecape as well. I mean, we haven't really gotten a clone trooper with a pauldron, but that'd be interesting to see. I guess we did get a stormtrooper with a pauldron, so they're still willing to do that. And the
technically the
Imperial
501st,
the Marauder had a pauldron with the
the
stormtrooper.
501st
So I
Heavy
guess they're still
Trooper
willing to make a pauldron.
has a pauldron technically, the Battle First Heavy Trooper, but it's a more complex style one, so I doubt they're going to ever make one. But
right,
yeah, I think that I just want to give everyone a quick little preface that you've come back to not happy Aaron or not positive Aaron in this regard. I think that it's just horrible. Okay, that's obviously it's Lego Star Wars. Nothing's horrible, but like it's a bad decision overall. I think that the commas, as they are called in Star Wars, is just like such a beautiful addition to a Lego Clone Trooper figure, or even a Lego figure in general. Like what Ninjago's done with some commas is absolutely insane. Or like Shirut's comma from Rogue One really adds a lot to that character. And I think that having the printed wastegapes is just bad. I think it looks bad all around. I think the Airborne being the last clone who got a comma on is just sad. And it's like that figure looks so good, and you compare it to the 81st. What is the purple one's called? Whatever the purple Mace Windu clones, they have the printed comma, and then the Power for Heavy clones with the printed comma, and inevitably the alleged and rumored, there's absolutely no confirmation of this yet, And
UCS Venator.
I'm honestly pessimistic about it myself if it's going to come with Captain Rex, but it is rumored to have Captain Rex. I doubt they put him behind such a large paywall, and even so, I don't get how that figure would really fit in there. But in any case, the rumored Captain Rex, which I'll just go on the assumption that it is, I don't think it's going to have a waist cape. I think it's going to be printed, and I think even, sadly, the pauldron's going to be printed, which is also going to really suck because even if this figure comes in a hypothetical $600 set, it's going to do little to nothing to affect the value of the old Captain Rex because the print on the helmet will be the new style print, which I think that it's generally agreed upon as inferior to the 2013 style, and it won't have the pauldron, which I know the pauldron is the single most expensive piece on Captain Rex, is his pauldron. So the lack of a pauldron is just going to be making that figure, the old one, probably more expensive.
So, yeah, I agree with what you're saying. And then I also just want to touch that, Lego's printing wastegapes. That was kind of my main point here. And so the question is, will Lego print a wastecape on a minifigure that comes in a $650 set? This has been a question I've seen a lot of people talking about in the last couple of weeks because of this rumored UCS Venator. And again, assuming Rex comes in this $600 plus set, will he come with a wastecape? And I think it's fair to say that given the target audience of who's going to buy this set, the type of fan who's going to buy a UCS Venator, I imagine they would want the most premium-esque Captain Rex that Lego could make. And obviously, Lego has shown in the past, even going back to just 2020 in General Grievous Starfighter with that airborne clone trooper, that they're willing to make troopers with wastegapes.
I think using the defense of UCS sets is kind of poor. Because if you take a look at the last prequels UCS set, which I know is like a sore subject, they didn't do a great job with the figures. So
which makes it even more, which makes the pressure on a UCS Venator that much higher. Is the fan expectations, especially on minifigure front, is just off the charts. That it has to be done right in every possible way. I imagine, right?
I'm keeping my figure expectations at the rock bottom for the set, man. I'm going to keep it honest with you. I'm not expecting Lego to pull off anything amazing. If they do, I'll be pleasantly surprised. If they don't, I'll be exactly where I am right now, disappointed and excited for a Lego airplane.
Fair enough. So yeah, I think it'll be very interesting. I don't think I'm not going to buy... I will buy the Venator no matter what Captain Rex ends up looking like, wastecape or pauldron printed or physically made out of fabric. Like, that's just not a... I'm more excited for the Venator returning than potentially Captain Rex returning. Because we've already gotten a Phase 2 Captain Rex in the past.
I would agree with that.
I'll be excited to get Rex again. Yeah. I'll be excited to get Rex, though, because the previous Rex, the 2013 version, never could have an antenna, which was just silly to me. So that always bothered me. It doesn't look bad, but Rex always has an antenna with his, like any version, Phase 1, Phase 2 Rex always had his antenna on the helmet. So it was always off-putting to me. The 2013 figure is still good in my opinion. But that was always one big issue for me personally. I'd be more bothered if Lego like omitted the antenna on the helmet or the double hole, whatever, not allowing an antenna on the helmet. That would upset me more than the wastecape situation. Because the reason being is that you can easily take another wastecape and put it on top of a printed wastecape area because of how Lego prints it. So it's easy to fix that remedy, which first off, you shouldn't have to do that. And second off, that again, the priority for me is the antenna on the helmet. But I personally, I want to see a wastecape on Rex. I know this is such a little detail, but I do realize that people out there care about these things, and it'll really. I think if Lego decides to print the wastecape on Rex, I think that just goes to show that Lego's very committed to not putting capes on clone troopers, at least wastegapes on clone troopers. I mean, what do you think, Aaron? If that's the case,
so I think that I don't know. Again, like I said earlier, I really hope Rex isn't in this set. Honestly, I hope that he's not priced paywalled behind the $600 hypothetical set. That'd just be horrible for everybody. But I think that they're not going to. I really have no faith and confidence in them at all. I think that they're going to completely just print the comma. Maybe they'll give a pauldron, but I guess I'm pretty sure they'll just print the pauldron too. And that's so disappointing to say, because Rex is really defined by this, like, his unique attributes, which are like, his helmet is welded together of like a phase 1 and a phase 2 helmet mixed together, and he has always the comma and always the pauldron, and it's relevant, and the antenna, yes, and it's very iconic to his character. Obviously, there's plenty of other clones who look similar, obviously, but I still think that I have said obviously like 7 times in the last second, with the blue and the white. Oh my gosh, it's Rex. You know what Rex looks like from his identifiable features, and it sucks that there's a possibility even of it not happening. And if this was back in 2015, we wouldn't be doubting it for a second that he'd have a pauldron and a waist cape, because that was like commonplace. And now the fact that Lego is just reducing the amount of cloths in Star Wars sets in general, and the Endor diorama is an extremely good example that's really gonna help me prove my point here.
Oh, I forgot about that. That is a good point, that they made the cloth out of the Endor
targeted
diorama.
set, targeted at adults, explicitly at adults. And what does it not have? Capes. And it has capes that already exist in Lego's molds or designs or whatever. So the fact that there's no capes in that really seals it for me, that there's not going to be any Captain Rex comma or.
I didn't even think about that, Aaron. That's a good point.
I know that it's going to be, Aaron's pessimistic and about everything, which sure, you're not wrong, but it doesn't look likely, and that sucks, because you know what? I find myself falling out of love with this theme, and this is not helping.
Anyhow, on a brighter note, again, hopefully we'll end up getting a UCS vendor. Hopefully that'll look good. I got my fingers crossed. The rumor is Captain Rex and Admiral Yularen are supposed to be the 2 figures that we get in the set, both of which I would be very excited about. We could get other figures, obviously, like Anakin and Obi-Wan. Honestly, there's a billion figures you could put with a Venator. So we'll just end up seeing if this all comes true. But I mean, just in general, I understood why Lego, especially for the Republic Fighter Tank and the 501st Battle Pack, those are the only 2 sets currently on shelves that have clone troopers that needed waist capes and that Lego decided to print. And both of those sets are $40 and $20. Those are cheap sets. And so, again, the bigger point, and this will also reign true for whether the potential gunship that's supposed to come later this year, it's also rumored we'll get another Republic gunship, and said gunship is supposed to be the Coruscant version of the gunship, and it's supposed to rumored to have Commander Fox in it. And so it'll be also very interesting to see. I think the price is supposed to be like $140, $160, whether Fox will have a waist cape or not as well. That'll be very interesting to see Fox and potentially Rex around the same time getting released, those 2 sets getting released, whether one has a waist cape, one doesn't, or both don't, or both do. I don't know. There's just lots of speculation.
I think that the Endor set, before the Endor set got revealed, I still held out hope that if there was going to be another clone of the comma in the future, because at that point I don't think any of these rumors were out yet before the set came out, that there would be commas again. And since the Endor set has came out, and I've seen how committed they are to just printing it, I don't have faith. And honestly, I want to quickly ask you about, do you think that the reason that they're printing all of this, like, this is going to be conspiracy theory, because obviously the real reason is because kids will destroy the comma, but do you think the reason they're doing this is because over all these years, people kept complaining there wasn't enough printing on the pieces because they always had to do stickers, and so Lego just interpreted the capes and the stickers as interchangeably the same thing, so they removed the thing you have to add and just put it all on the figure printed. And they're like, well, it's what you wanted, right? You know what I mean?
I guess, but like,
I mean, this is what we wanted.
No, Lego knows that fans care about details on minifigures and getting as much dual molded legs and arm printing as fans could want. They know that fans care about that stuff. I've talked to the lead Lego Star Wars, the graphic designer, when I was in Denmark last year. His name's Matty. He's the one who heads up all these Lego Star Wars minifigures. And among my discussions with him, he definitely cares about every little minute detail on the minifigures. Like, it goes through him as well as the other people approving these Lego Star Wars sets. So I know that he knows fans care about this stuff, and he's the one making them. So I don't think so, Aaron. to
like I
answer
said,
your
that was
question.
conspiracy theory, Aaron, is what I'd say that is. Which would be kind of, I mean, obviously that's not really a realistic thought process, I suppose, but I'm not confident. I don't have faith. I'm excited for the Venator build if it's real, just as the Venator, like you said. I'm excited to just have that. So, we'll see. I guess literally time will tell.
Time will tell. All right, so our last topic, and we'll try to wrap up pretty quickly, is Anthony? Aaron. I almost called you Anthony. I don't know why. I was thinking about Blaine and Anthony.
Yeah, because we were talking about them earlier, yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow, our last topic is Aaron.
Right, so I just wanted to quickly get your opinion on this will be relatively fast because I'll cut it down, save the rest for later, but do you know what reproduction figs are? And not reproduction like fake Lego, but like reproduction prints and stuff.
Yeah, so it's literally almost like custom Lego minifigures, except the only difference is that they're literally mimicking the exact Lego design, trying to make it look almost exactly like the original figure. The difference with a custom minifigure is it's a new design, but both replicated figures and custom Lego minifigures are utilizing genuine Lego parts, regardless. But the difference is that they're trying to replicate the design of the original Lego figure, right?
Right, yeah, and so that's what I just wanted to, because a couple months back I was talking to somebody, and I also saw on Instagram, I think, I don't remember from which customizer it was, but I think somebody was producing a Cloud City Boba Fett, the 2004 figure, on old dark gray parts with the green Boba Fett helmet, obviously, and the print looked like scarily accurate. I couldn't tell what type of print it was because I think Lego uses pad printing, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so if it was pad printing and the design, it looked eerily similar. If they use pad printing instead of UV printing, which if you don't know the difference, you can feel you can physically feel the lines on UV printing, so it's defined. That just seems worrisome for the resale market, because I feel like if companies or just people in general with bad intentions, I guess, started doing this with other hard to find and desirable figures, what's the stop to just flooding the market? If you have any thoughts about this, or anybody in the comments has thoughts about this, I just thought it'd be interesting to quickly discuss that.
Yeah, so first off, I have a background in custom Lego minifigures, so I can comment pretty heavily on this. First off, it is very hard, especially let's specifically narrow in on Cloud City Boba Fett, because that is a figure that someone would want to make fakes of. Fakes meaning that still it's real Lego, but they're making the figure again, basically, and not the original version that came in the set. I could see someone making Cloud City Boba, because I think he goes for a stupid price of $1,500 to $2,000 now, which is just insane.
That's a different issue, but yeah.
Yeah, that is a different issue. But let's say, okay, someone wants to make a fake Boba Fett. This is technically a pretty easy figure to kind of remake, because all you have to really do is get your hands on the other regular Boba Fett minifigures that came out around the same time without the leg printing, without the arm printing, and you can just print those legs and arms with the exact same pattern and pretty much just call it a Cloud City Boba Fett. And unless you know the size differences of the print, it is pretty hard to distinguish the two, like you were just saying. And so that's what makes it hard, or makes it easy, to do. But at the same time, Cloud City Boba Fett's kind of tricky because it's using the old gray color, I believe, right? Not light bluish gray.
Yeah.
Or was it using light bluish gray?
I'm pretty certain it's old gray.
Because you can't get those parts blank anymore. It's impossible to find those blank unless you're getting the old Boba Fetts that are in really good condition. That's really the only way you're going to do it, is if you get just really good condition other regular Boba Fetts and convert those into Cloud City Boba Fetts. That could be the only way. But in terms of other replica minifigures, I feel like it's more common to see Chinese knockoff figures than it is to see genuine Lego replica minifigures. And when I say genuine Lego, I'm saying the parts are genuine Lego with custom printing that's supposed to be a replica of the minifigure. Hopefully this is not confusing everybody too much.
Yeah. I think that mainly what I wanted to talk about this with is if somebody, I don't know, I just feel like it's obviously not necessarily a guaranteed. I don't think this can happen because I think any customizer who has made a custom version of Cloud City Boba Fett has made sure to like watermark the inside of the leg hole, so there is no way to exchange it, which I think is a good first step. But you know, if there's somebody who doesn't do that, it just seems like a slippery slope, I guess. And this is like not a
because
topic to go in depth
if,
on, but yeah.
If you're going out of your way to make, quote unquote fake Cloud City Boba Fett minifigures, even though you're making them almost like the real thing, and you're trying to sell them for, I don't know, $300, $400, $500, and you're not disclosing that they're replicas or whatever it might be, then obviously that's terrible, and you shouldn't be doing that. I mean, personally, I don't think anybody should make at the end of the day, Aaron, my opinion on this is like people shouldn't make replica minifigures and people shouldn't buy replica minifigures.
That's what I was trying to get at. Is like, I just wanted your whole overall opinion, because I fully agree as well. I think it's fine to buy. Like,
I don't support this. I wouldn't personally buy a. I don't even own a Cloud City Boba Fett. I wouldn't spend the $2,000 to buy the real thing, and I wouldn't spend $300 to buy the replica. I just wouldn't buy either.
Can you think about how many like pieces you could buy with $2,000 versus one figure? Like, it's just stupid. Like, that's set too. Let's see. Like, it's unbelievable.
I could get 3 UCS Venators for less than a Cloud City Boba Fett.
Yeah,
assuming it's real at $650.
Yeah, it's just stupid. I don't know. I think that I just wanted to get your quick opinion on that, because we haven't really spoken that privately. But reproduction figures is what I'm calling them. It just seems like a slippery slope, and it kind of goes into more what I've observed lately is just like our hobby getting kind of, I don't know. Obviously, Lego's always been monetized, but I guess juiced or milked is what I'd say Lego is. I personally think Lego's getting kind of milked to an extent, which it's a topic for a different episode, because we are a little bit past our 1 hour mark. So I think we're going to wrap it up there. If you have any comments or thoughts about these figures, be sure to leave them down below. I'd love to really read and possibly engage on those. If you have comments on anything we said in the podcast, be sure to also leave those down below, because
Aaron,
we love engagement. What's up?
Guess what?
What?
I didn't tell you I was going to talk about this, but I just want to say that Final Cut Pro is finally coming to the iPad.
I don't sound excited for you, but I have no idea what anything you just said to me means.
It is such, as a video editor, as someone who runs a YouTube channel and does videography professionally, it has been a dream of mine to have Final Cut Pro on the iPad. It's Apple's own editing software, and that was announced today, and I could not be more happy.
Well,
I'm in a great mood is what I'm trying to say.
That's great. Maybe in the future we'll have a live stream, or not a live stream, but like a video with us on it, which I think actually we should talk about that privately. Is maybe the Brick World show or Brick World episode, we should do cameras on for once, and maybe only once, but we'll see, because I feel like at that point it's already at Brick World. Why not? And
you know what's awesome?
What?
I just got to talk about this. This has nothing to do with Lego. Well, it kind of does. I've always wanted, and I actually experimented with this with week 1 of building Geonosis, is that I've wanted to overlay drawing on videos. So I've wanted to animate drawings, right? So like if I want to draw an arrow on the video that I'm, to point to something, that has always been extremely difficult to make that happen. You'd have to like pull up Adobe software and all this, or what I was doing in the past is I would literally draw an arrow on a green background on my iPad, bring that into the video editing software, green screen the green out of it, so then I just have an arrow being drawn, and like it was just the most difficult process in the world. And Final Cut for iPad, you're going to be able to literally draw on the video and animate it in real time, and that is just such a game changer for me. I cannot wait to do that.
Well,
my point being is my quality of content in the future from just this simple little thing is going to be crazy good.
Maybe the consistency can be good too.
Oh my gosh. Aaron, I uploaded a video every day for 7 days straight last week, and I feel like I deserve a break from uploading.
And did you not see how well they all did?
Yeah, they all did great. And
so what does that tell you, David?
Thank you to everybody. Thank you to everybody who was watching my videos last week.
People want to see
to everybody
more.
Listening to this.
Okay, they want to see some great Solid Brick Studios content consistently.
I know.
And maybe Final Cut Pro on the iPad's all you needed.
Geonosis Week 6 is next. That is as my, literally the second we're going to stop recording this, I'm going to go downstairs and continue working on rock work.
Well, I'm excited to see that in a video, ideally soon.
Sorry, it'll be soon.
I got to stop dogging on you for this, but I think that I'm not alone when I was saying that, more content from David would be great. But in any case, I think that's where we're going to wrap it up. If you have any final thoughts, David.
Yep. Nope, that's it. Let us know down in the comments below what you thought about this week's episode. Let us know if Aaron ranted a little too much about the airplane. I think maybe
ranted. That was delightful, delightful speak about Lego doing right. Okay, that's what everybody wants.
Let us know down in the comments. Let us know down in the comments below.
The Concorde is a work of beauty.
I did really enjoy what you had to say, but I'm curious if everybody else had to enjoy it.
I know that we have a viewer that I've been DMing on Instagram a lot. Really nice guy who also loves airplanes as much as me. And I if he's listening right now, you know who you are. I hope that you enjoyed that first 20 minutes because that was, for you. It's great. I'm excited to see the reaction. But have a great day, y'all.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll be back with episode 8 in a few weeks. Bye, everybody.